All right, welcome back, guys. Let's catch up quickly and just see where we are. It's been a pretty sideways day. I think the ALSI and the DAX for the win today. The US markets have been very, very sideways, but hopefully opening will change that. Let's catch up with the Dow very quickly. On the yearly high-low, not much change from this morning. Obviously, it's weekly candles. We're just parking around that 77. That candle looks a bit horrible. Moving averages still on top of each other. Really no change from this morning. Very difficult to identify the trend. Let's move on to the daily picture.
If we look at the monthly high-low, also still very small candles for the past couple of days. We can see 3 days ago, almost looked like we closed with a doji candle over there, still just above that 50 level of support, resistance still 61. No real push from today's candle, but hopefully in the next couple of days we get some momentum, push above that 50 moving average or possibly back to it. Or if you can see it push below that 50 level, aiming for the 38.2, but currently still struggling with that consolidation. We can see stochastic is above signal line, but both of them also still trading in consolidation. So no real triggers on this time frame at the moment. Let's just wait for a push above those key levels or below 38.2.
Yeah, onto the weekly high-low, horrible consolidation. It's the 50 moving average. So it could be potentially a little B, 0A, B complicated around the 50 moving average for a C down. But we have to wait and see. See if we can get a candle close. We pushed a little bit earlier on, just broke that 61.8, but we didn't close, so no trigger there. But now, candle close above, we're looking for that 77.89. Otherwise, down through the 38.2, targeting 23 and 11, and then possibly that little ABC down there. Trend, it is up at the moment, green above red. We are above the 50 moving average. So the trend is up on the hourly. Stochastic from yesterday broke up through the 50 level, followed through the 61.8. We can see they made little highs there last night and then came back all the way into consolidation. We have broken, but by the time we broke out of here, we kind of like very consolidated that signal line around the 50. So signal line above the 50 now, stochastic down through 50, more specifically that follow through down the 38.2. We're going to see if we can get that ABC down there.
Take a look at the 9-hour. Also, we did get that trigger long above 61, kind of pushed somewhat very close to first target 77, but pulled all the way back to the 50 range. Really not that great if you look in comparison with previous days range. You're still sitting inside of that, so current resistance is 61.8, support is that 50. So keep in mind on some of the bigger time frames plus the 9-hour, we are sitting in consolidation, which means just have to trade carefully with these levels on the 1 minute. But we can see trend is up, 8 above 21, above 50, and stochastic is above signal line and above 61.8. However, break of 61.8, watch out for the previous high close to the 77.
Just there, absolutely. My trigger during opening, as Monet said, not the greatest range there. Okay, these are ABCs. We haven't had much of a change. We're in this consolidation, which is typical of a B. So it's still a possibility of a little A, B for C up. So I said, it's very possible that C is done already with that double top level there. But yes, yeah, it's very, very sideways. It's so difficult to see these ABCs. Let's jump to the 5-minute ABCs, and there we can see we still got that outstanding ABC final target. Hit that first target yesterday. It's still around there. So still a possibility for us to go there. We've got to give it time. It really looked good here on the stochastic, but it just shows you that there's very little volume going through the market, no real momentum. Stochastic up through. This is a nice example of when we're chasing the ABC targets. We're looking for moving average crossover. So let me just zoom in there a little bit. We want moving average crossover, which we've had stochastic up through the 61.8, confirming that. So it's very possible we can still go there. Let's see what opening is going to bring us there.
Take a look at the daily high-low. Next possible trigger, you can see it's starting to push above that 61.8. If you do get a candle close above that, break previous candle high will be a trigger for a long. However, watch out, we do have the highs of the day just above that 77 level. So we have reached first target with the previous trade, so it was stop to entry, that it was a risk-free trade. But currently, we're also setting up for another trigger long. Trend is up, 8 above 21, above 50, stochastic above signal line, and trading above the 89 level. So there is definitely momentum to the upside. As I said, just watch out for the previous highs.
Yeah, absolutely. Opening range we'll get to in a little bit. Let's catch up with the US tech. Not much of a change. A little bit better, or a little bit more movement in the tech than the Dow today, but not much. The weekly candle is still very, very tiny, and that's at 50 moving average. In consolidation, really no change. Let's move on to the daily picture.
On the daily picture, we can also see prices slowly still moving down towards that 23.6. We can see we're trading below the 8 moving average. We have 50 above 21 above 8, indicating that trend is down. Stochastic and signal line trading below 38.2. We can see price has respected that 23.6 previously, then bounced back up towards 38.2. So let's see if we're going down to test that as a possible double bottom or break down to the 11. But we can still see we are pretty much still bearish in the daily time frame.
Yeah, that's for sure. On the hourly, similar story. Trend is still down, green below red, below blue. We have had no triggers on this system for the last 2 days. So we're just between levels here. We've got to wait for a break of the lows of Friday. So it's also that low that Monet is talking about there. There it is there. So break of that candle close on the hourly break, previous candle low. We're aiming for those lower targets down there. Otherwise, only longs above the 61.8. Stochastic also suggesting we want to stay short here, or we prefer the short side down through the consolidation area, broke the 38.2. We just have absolutely no targets to aim for, or no triggers at least. We really just have levels of support and resistance on the bigger time frame. On the ABCs, it's a little bit of a change from this morning. We were looking at the possibility of that being a little A for B there, and then C up. I said this morning, break of that can't be B. We're looking at a lower B there, which we have now gone down a bit and formed a possible little B there. And we'll see it slightly better on the 5 minute if I just go there. So I had it there this morning. We broke those lows from that price fib 0 to A. We've now got pretty much a perfect 77% retracement. If that holds, that's for us a perfect B, then we can start looking at it. So again, moving average crossover, stochastic up through the 61.8. That's a confirmation we're aiming for target. So if that's going to happen while we trade this afternoon, I will give us some targets. So we're just waiting to see if that holds as B. What I then do is I pick up my price fib. It becomes a target fib. I put the 100 at the bottom of B, or the 0 if you got it upside down. Our first target level is the 38.2 or the 61.8, and final target at the 11, breaking the highs of today and of yesterday and Friday, aiming for that 11 target. But we have to wait for confirmation that that is in fact B. And as I said, our confirmation will be moving average crossover, which is pretty much happening, but we're still below the 50 moving average. I'd like to see us get above that. And then obviously the stochastic following through.
Take a look at the daily high low, pretty much been below that 38.2 from the whole day. Haven't really peaked above the consolidation or even in the consolidation today. We did get a trigger earlier below the 0 for short to the minus 127 first target, but that hasn't stopped out yet. Stopped still at the 23.6. There's still an active trade, but just watch out for that. If we break down below the 0 now, you want to take an additional trade. Wait for break of those lows, but you can see trend is still down on the 5 minute, 50 above 21 above 8. Stochastic and signal line still trading below 38.2. Next trigger long will only be above 61.8. But currently we are just faffing around that 0 level and close to yesterday's low throughout the day. So just watch out for the previous lows if you do take the additional trigger shorts.
For sure. And then opening range we'll get to about half an hour or so. Right, I'm going to hand over to Monet. He's going to look after the 1 minute. I'll be supporting in the background, and hopefully we'll have a nice market for it. About 15 minutes to opening, and we can see even now it's very, very quiet as we're building up to that opening. So let's just trade with care if we do get the triggers there.
Right, let's have a look at where we are on the 1 minute at the moment. Take a look at the Dow 1 minute grid. Let's just maximize this chart real quick. Coming from significant level with moving average divergence from meeting the 0 level, so we'll definitely have the low of the 1 minute grid at the current low, which is, let's have a look, that is on the chart 12.24. Pull that up to the current high. Just going to leave that there. Let's have a look at US tech real quick. US tech also coming from that significant level where we hit the stochastic on the 0. Have a quick look. A little bit too low, so we're just going to trail the lows. And stochastic also hit there 99, so that might not be enough. Where would you say Renault 1 minute grid still from the lows to the current high?
I've got stochastic. Oh, sorry, I've got 1 minute US tech still from the highs to lows.
Yes. Yeah. 100%. Let's look for a possible extension for setup on US tech. From the current low, swing low to swing high. Currently sitting at just below the 61.8% retracement. Going to leave that there. For the Dow, we don't have enough candles creating this retracement, so we're just going to give that some time. Other than that, next trigger short will be 33 stochastic down to 50. We can see we are starting to turn around above 61.8 again. Trend on the 1 minute for the Dow. Almost got that 821 moving average crossover. Price is still pushing above those moving averages. We can also see trend on the 1 minute for US tech is down. On the bigger time frames, on the daily high low, resistance is the 61.8 of daily high low on the Dow. For US tech, current level of support is that 0 of the daily high low. That is a trigger for separation long. If you took that 11 up to the 50, just keep in mind the reason I'm not taking that is because we're still on that 61.8 of the daily high low. Trigger above that, I'll definitely start chasing the longs. It does qualify for a sell, for a buy stop at the high. Let's see if US tech's going to push to a 77% retracement on the extension fib. Watch for this 33 stochastic down to 50. That is valid for trigger short. Keep in mind, 5 minute trend is up. 1 minute trend is starting to change a little bit. That 821 is kind of on top of each other at the moment. So we're just going to keep that some space as well. Just going to swap this 1 minute grid around. And see we're currently struggling with that 89 level. Watch for 33 down through the 50. Keep in mind it is 10 minutes to opening. Watch for another additional trigger separation long. Stochastic up to 50 on US tech as well. Signal line is below the 50. However, we can see all this resistance at the top, all these moving averages being over there in one spot. There's the additional trigger separation long if you want to take that. I have my buy stop at the top of that 100, break it that high. 5 minute trend is still up.
You know why I like that is on the 5 minute grid. If we can break those highs, we're chasing 77. Yeah, it's quite a range, eh? We've got about, our 5 minute grid on the Dow is exactly the same as our daily high low. So we're aiming for that 77, 35 to 35. I like that trade. A little bit of gap there.
Hmm.
Eight minutes for opening.
Gonna watch that buy stop.
Struggling with that 61.8 to the daily high low and the 5-minute grid. And the US tech is just playing around that zero level opening rate after daily high low.
This extension flip on the DOW does qualify. We have more than 8 candles, so we can from the high to the low. You can currently see perfect 89% retracements.
Yeah.
Make sure you short 33 down to 50 on the Dow.
Also got resistance 9 hour 61.8 coming up.
Yeah, since the range on the 9 hours so tight, we want to be careful around those levels. You can see market starting to pick up some volatility, 33 down to 50. I'll go for the short for the 5, since you're coming from resistance 61.8 at daily high low.
The last 5-minute candle before we open. No trigger long on the daily high low.
Here you go, buy stop triggered.
Watch for the double top. Mine's also picked up. Pushed my entry up. Spread will reduce in the next couple of minutes as well.
We did get that extension flip fail, so just need to push towards 127. Break below is 89 is the 1-minute grid. I'll take a stop.
5-minute stochastic, it is above the 89. As long as it stays there, we want to remain long. 5 minutes.
Below 89, I'm out. Since we had 3 minutes until opening, let's just give it a moment. Don't want to get caught in a bad position now.
Yeah, this is strong resistance at these 61s. 61 5-minute daily high low and 9-hour consolidation.
Now watching that 33 down to 50. Keep in mind 2 minutes till opening. Let's just give opening time to do its thing. But we must take into consideration the Dow and US tick has been in consolidation pretty much the whole day.
Very sideways. I'll tell you what the total range was for today so far. Whopping 200 points on the Dow.
And that's not even in the direction, that's like completely sideways. That's bad. It's not a situation where we can say we went 300 points up or down.
No.
It's just the range. So yeah. Now we have opened. I'm going to trail the grid. I'm going to put the extension flip to the side for now. US Tech 5-minute trend is still down.
Sure.
Sure. A nice push. What's next level of resistance? 61.8 of the weekly high low. That is also where the previous high. We couldn't get it close above that yet in the 5 minutes.
Nine-hour has triggered again. I just don't like this range.
Mm-hmm.
For myself, I prefer at least 100 points to first target. It's not the rule, but my experience, we just tend to stop out very quickly, especially when you're around that 61.8 when we open. No trigger daily high low. We've got to wait 5 minutes. It risk rewards a little bit out of that long wick of that current 5-minute candle.
You also see on the Dow 1 minute we did get that 33 down to 50, but keep in mind you can see stochastic failed at the 38.2, pushed back above 61 and now pushing down below 50. Let's just give this 5-minute candle time to do its thing, at least.
I agree. It's very busy with those long weeks and sales. Still finding strong resistance around the 61.8 to the 9-hour. We're above the 61.8 to the 5-minute grid as well as the daily high level. As I say that, we just pull off real hard, finding support 50 moving average on 1 minute. US tech coming off the 155 moving average on 5.
She's still struggling to get a close above that 61.8 of daily high low. That is extremely strong resistance. But we can see we're still sitting in consolidation on the weekly, monthly. So we are kind of trapped inside of a very tight range in terms of the bigger picture. Current support on the Dow 1 minute 15 moving average. Next level of support on the US tech 11 of the 1 minute grid.
That's 0 of the daily high low, strong support in the US tech. Very previous candle high, daily high low. Dow is a trigger for a long. That risk reward is not really very good. We'll have a double top there.
Yeah, the 33 after 15 not valid, signal line still above 56. We did get a candle close in the 5 minutes above the 61.8. So break previous candle high is trigger, but that just rewards a little bit out. In my opinion, I will not take the daily high low trade at the moment. It's above 61. At least until we do escape the consolidation of weekly.
Yeah. That 61 can be strong at weekly high low. We've seen this since yesterday. Possible we'll tweeze the top there on 5 minutes down. The trend on the US tech still down. Possibly starting to change.
Yeah, 5 minute giving us that to the top condition.
Gotta wait for the close of this candle. It's not really at the top of the trend. Still.
But that is perfect. Breaking above 61.8 of the US tech 1 minute grid. 5-minute trend on US Tech is starting to change. The current resistance 23.6 of weekly, 23.6 of daily. The Dow is doing nothing at the moment on the 100.
It's a little bit ugly. Possibly back to opening price of the day on the NAS. I've got 40 points to go for that.
Typically, break of this high on the Dow, we can put a buy stop over there as well. Because you do have that high 5-minute trend is still up, 1-minute trend also still up.
Yeah, for sure.
Plus, if we can push up through that double top resistance, I do expect us to at least get the 5 points from it.
Oh, we're still on the 5-minute grid. Still have that 77 outstanding. It's a breakout strategy, so we don't need to wait for candle close.
Yeah.
But it did go halfway, and generally when we get to halfway, especially between 61 and 77, stock goes halfway. So between the 61 and the 50, that hasn't stopped. Still in play. Oh, that's a bit ugly. Eh?
Yeah, the Dow's 1-minute stochastic design. At least for myself, until we break below this 50 of 1-minute grid or get a change in trend, maybe 50 crossing below the 89 even, but we have to push out of this range. I mean, these candles are quite big, about 33 points. 21 years. Candles are quite big, but you don't want to get caught in this because there's no direction really at the moment.
Oh, those recent tells are nasty. I think US Tech 5-minute trend has changed. Yeah.
Yeah, that's up at the moment. So if we can get 2 candles closing below this high, we can put our buy stops. Look, put a buy stop at the top of this 100. $77% retracement on the 1-minute grid for US Tech. Watch our possibility of 33 down to 50. I will take it. Keep in mind 5-minute trend has changed, but current resistance is 23.6 of weekly and daily. Support is at 11. Info trigger. support the 50 of the consolidation area on the 1 minute grid. Usually when we enter back into that, we move to the other side.
So 11 of the daily high low coming up.
If that's great support.
89 moving average with 5 sources sitting there.
Once again, 50 moving average support on Dow 1 minute. Took that trigger for 5. Took TP on that one.
I don't even have time for my TP.
Current support 38.2 1 minute grid. Dow current supports 89 moving average as well as 50 of the 1 minute grid. So we are still inside of that consolidation, even on the 1 minute grid, couldn't get above the 77. Technically 33 up from 50 on the Dow will be a valid trigger long, but as I said, I'm not going to take any position on the Dow unless I do break out of this range.
I agree. Still need to wait for this current candle to close on the 1 minute high on the US tech.
Yeah. But throughout the whole day, we've just had these big wicked tail 5 minute candles.
Yeah. To candle retracement.
And DAX daily high a bit trigger long again. Can't really plot an extension flip on the Dow at the moment because it's just a bunch of nothing and a lot of everything going on there.
Sure. That's exactly what it is.
We can put a buy stop at the top just as we broke up through the 77 on US Tech. 5 minute trend is up. The previous high does qualify for a buy stop.
Watch for the little possibility of a little triple top there on the Dow.
We've got so close to triggering a buy stop on the Dow.
Sure.
We get that as triggered. Check TP on that.
Nice one. Aiming for that 77 5 minute grid still.
Yeah.
And daily high low.
Moving towards that. E9. Next,
I've lost feed. Really come back.
They might also drop now.
If we do drop, guys, please stay online. I think it's the weather in the area that's a bit horrible. It is warning us, internet.
We can put an extension flip on US Tech. Did one more candle. Currently have 7 candles for that retracement. One more candle. Or if we do break that highs, we do have our buy stop.
Yeah, on 5 minute there, we still got this 23 of the daily high low as our resistance, as well as the weekly high low. That's really what I see at the moment. playing around the 155 moving average of 5.
What's a possible 33 down to 50 on US tech? I'll take that for the 5. This 1 minute is really bad.
Even the 5-minute candles are not pretty.
So watching for that 33 down to 50 US tech. Dow is also setting up for that. We got shorts. US tech for the 5.
Let's watch that 11 or the 89 of the extension for the support, but TP should just be above that.
Dow, of course, that was immediate pull through back to the 50. Not going to chase that.
Nasty candle.
Took TP on that. Watch 50 moving average support.
Driving it back into consolidation of the daily high low as well as 9-hour. Opening price of the day coming up again on the Dow.
Next level of support 23.6 on the US tech 100 grid. Current level of support 50 of 1-minute grid on Dow.
Oh, the 1133 stochastic on the Dow just sticking to each other.
Yeah.
Four minutes to go for our opening range. Dan's going to post that for us. We'll just grab our levels. Put 5 minutes US tech, 50 moving average.
The drop to 50 on the Dow. Signal line still on that 50 at the moment, so I'm not gonna take that. At least want that signal line closed below the 50 confirmation. And we're pretty much still back in that range that we struggled with So not gonna try like survive and push it. So one-minute trend on US tech has changed. I'm going to delete these 5 stops. Let's get that 33 up to 50 on the Dow. This is what you can see because we're back inside of this consolidation. US tech also setting up for that 33 up to 50. Yes, signal line is still above 50. It's not valid. It's 50 of the Dow 1 minute grid, extremely strong support. You can see that level is holding.
61.8, the weekly high low as well. We just kissed that level and just pull back, just about. Okay, we've got our opening range.
About 5 minutes to that 5 o'clock candle.
Yes, it's not much of a range.
No, not at all. No, this is terrible. I mean, this range on the 1 minute, you can just see this consolidation. You have to get a very significant move and really push out of this range.
We've only got about 46 points to first target on our opening range, which for the afternoon is not great. The morning session was actually wider.
Yeah, it was. NASDAQ also big wicks and tails on the 1 minute. Was 33 up through 50 on the USD, coming from that 38.2 of the 1 minute. We're not going to take that 33. Stochastic is still, the price is still moving a little bit wonky. You really have to trade with care in conditions like this.
Yeah.
Or just grab your 5 points and go.
Oh, that's
about it.
Sure, even that.
5 points.
Look at the extension 50 and the US tech. You've got 5 points level to level. It's not even really a valid extent. I mean, it is kind of, we're not really breaking bodies of the candles now. We respected that 50, but look, yeah, man.
On the Dow, however, these extension foot levels, 77, 61, they have about 12 points.
A little bit better.
This extension foot coming from 89% retracement on the Dow. Break of this 100 on the Dow, a buy stop, the extension for high. Just see how many points I can get to that 77. Oh, sorry, the 89 of the 1 minute grid. Because initially I would like to push towards that level. There we go, about 5.9 points. I'm just going to put it for 5.
Safe.
Just want to make sure I don't need to reach above that level because we know how strong that level can be.
On the 5 minute, we're still aiming for 77 daily high low as well as 5 minute grid. And it is above the 61.8 of the opening range, of course. 5 o'clock candle coming up.
Signal is below the 50 on the Dow, so 33 down to 50 does not qualify. However, I would not even like to try to take the 33 down to 50 if you like, take a look at these 1 minute candles.
It's just too busy.
First sec pushing down, support 23.6 at 1 minute grid. And delete these buy stops for now. And I'm not forget about them. Support US sec 11 of the 1 minute grid.
Broken down through the 38 to the opening range, and now we're just going on the US sec.
Might just have to trail the low of the 1 minute grid on the US sec. Dow still sitting inside of the consolidation of the 1 minute grid. Support currently 50 off the daily high low on the Dow. That is the next level. 50 moving average also coming up there. At the moment, 33 up to 54 long is valid on both markets. Extension group failed. We hit the minus 127. We're just going to trail the 1 minute grid. And US tech.
Yeah.
5 minute trend on the US tech is busy changing again. Dow also might get a possible 821 crossover.
Yeah, that's quite a big push down.
No, that is an interesting push.
Risk reward on the opening range is not that good. I mean, the Dow's already past first target, and we still got 3 minutes of this current 5-minute candle to go. US takes about half. Yeah, it's past halfway. It's just the ranges are tight. Earlier high Dow, we've gone pretty much all the way back to the other side from the 61.8 to the 38.2.
Might be a possible trigger short on the daily high low for US tech below the zero, coming from that 23.6. However, risk reward at this point is still all right. But in the way, we have the 11 of the weekly high low as support. Next trigger long 33 up to 50 on both markets. Keep in mind 500 trend is busy changing on both of them. Couple of seconds to go for this current 5-minute candle.
Hang around first target opening range on the Dow. Minute to go for the next 5-minute candle. $50 moving average on the hourly. Sorry, I didn't see that. That's our current support there.
Oh, sure.
Yeah, that just bounced off that level.
Yeah. That's also very close to 38.2 of daily high low support and 50 of weekly. Now we have good reasoning for this current consolidation. 5-minute trend on US tech is down, so we can technically put our sell stops at the bottom of the zero.
Let's take the high low triggered short again. That risk reward's not great, eh?
No,
Went
really
all the way
not.
back to the 23 and then we triggered short again.
Plus we have the 11 of weekly as support there, so I will not outside out that short actually. Watch the 33 up to 50 on the Dow. Keep in mind Dow 5-minute trend still haven't gotten that 821 confirmed crossover yet.
You're right.
However, US tech did confirm that crossover.
Opening price on the Dow is our resistance. 89 moving average 5 minutes.
$33 up to 50 on long. And for 5. You TP on that.
That's right.
Resistance is the 89 moving average and the 50 of the 1-minute grid. The resistance on the US tech 1-minute grid 23.6.
Okay. All the way back into consolidation at the opening range. It shows you how tight those levels are.
see US Tech, the current 5-minute candle, how we bounce off that zero off the daily 5 again. Perfect. And Dow just pushing back above 61.8. This is mad. These candles are very serious, guys. Watch out.
Look at that, those last two 5-minute candles on the Dow.
Not a valid separation for a short. 11 is not coming from above 50.
Fifty level of the opening range on the Dow's resistance. We're still below the 38.2 of the opening range of the US Tech. US Tech opening range hasn't triggered short yet. I mean, that risk reward is kind of out the window. But if it triggers, at least we've got levels to chase there. But whew, these candles.
Does this qualify for us? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, this does qualify. Let's wait for this candle to close and we'll put an extension for 1 US Tech 1 minute. So we're at that 50% retracement with the 8th candle. Break below that 0 and the 100 of the extension foot. We have our sell stops. So 33 up to 50 on US Tech, coming from 50% retracement on the extension fib.
Hasn't that 1 minute grid at US Tech hasn't moved there? It's just below the trend.
Yeah.
Back into consolidation of the opening range on the Tech. And closed back in there yet.
Down to 54 trigger separation short. However, just watch out. This support is the 11th of the 1 minute grid. Below 11 and above the 0, kind of a no trading zone at the moment. So I do have my short below the 100 that sell stop, and so I'm rather waiting for that. So if we do have a pullback from this 11,
yeah, quite right.
Resistance 61.8 of the 1 minute grid on the Dow.
The kiss of the 61.8, the 5-minute grid again on the Dow as well, and that opening rate of daily high low rather.
Also that 77% retracement, which just moved the high of this extension flip on that 77 at the moment. The Dow 1 minute not really giving me any indication. So this is just stay out of that for a while, at least until we do break above the 61, or most importantly above the 77 of the 1 minute grid, because that's the level it's been holding us. I'd rather wait for 33 up to 50 on US tech.
Still struggling with 50 of the opening range on the Dow, 38.2 opening range on the US tech. At 0 level, daily high low, very naughty.
Yeah. Coming from a 77% retracement on the extension flip, I'll wait for that 11 up. Oh, sorry, 33 up through the 50. You can see there was an attempt to get the Dow out of this range. Actually, we saw this huge momentum of a ton of sellers just coming into the market, pushing it down, but obviously the correction came back in, and we just went straight back into this consolidation.
Yeah, and sideways immediately. One minute trend is up now on the Dow, eh?
Yeah, we have 8 above 21.
5 minute is still up.
5 minute, yeah, 5 minute on the Dow, going all the way from 38 back above 61. We just triggered long again daily high low, but I will not take a daily high low trade above 61.8. Rather wait for above 100.
Yeah.
Resistance again, 1 minute grid 77 on the Dow. Watch for possible 33 up through 50 on US tech. And if you do take that 33 up, keep in mind we have 155, 89, and 50 moving average as resistance, and the 38.2 of the 1 minute grid. A ton of resistance. See this extension flip being broken now broken up through back couple of candles. Let's just keep that to the side for a bit. Also, it's going to wait. You can see still perfectly bouncing off that 77 of the 1 minute grid. I mean, that level, we have to take a look. Yeah. Yo. We've been sitting there. Just shows you how strong a 77% retracement actually is.
Yeah. That's a target level.
Watch the up to 50 on US tech. I'll really just push it for the 5 points since I see so much resistance coming up over there.
Yeah, 5 minute, there's also quite a bit of resistance as well as 50 moving average.
Yeah, and the 0 and the daily high low.
We close back inside the opening range. We can aim for the other side. Which is about 80 points from where we are, 70 points.
Okay, that candle just went straight through. I'm not even going to chase that. You see, that's what we don't expect, because you see resistance and then what it just breaks all of it.
Yeah, especially with these candles.
Sure. Just going to delete the sell stop before I forget about it.
Do the same.
You can see the US tech as well, resistance at that 77. That is also the high that held.
Dow resistance coming up, 61.8 to the opening range. We're above the consolidation daily high lows, well as on the 9-hour once again, but we've also got resistance coming up, 61.8 of weekly high low once again, pretty much at our little double top level there.
Just going to put a horizontal line at the previous high on the 1 minute. You can see got more than halfway to that 89 target. Three, 5, 2. These moving averages are everywhere on the 1 minute.
Yeah. On the 5 minute on the US tick, I can't tell you what the trend is. We're above the 50 moving average. We haven't closed yet, but 8, 21, 50 all sitting on top of each other. So very close to that double top level. Dow, I've got a buy stop in just above that. The highs.
So just above these highs.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
Slightly above the 61.8 to the opening range.
Five points just below that 89.
Yeah.
Keep in mind 33 down to 50 US tech does not qualify for a short. Signal line still below the 38.2. However, 33 down to 50 on the Dow does qualify. Still that 77 is just holding.
There's a little possibility of an inverse head and shoulders in the Dow 1 minute.
Actually, I got excited with this breakout on the 1 minute, but then went straight back.
And it's just teased us, yeah.
Really trade is the DAX more. But like short, short of the exception. It was cut because I was checking and trend was down on 1 minute, 5 minute, 15 minute, 30 minute, hour. Everything is trend was down and it just said it came off. Yeah, that's about trade versus
Currently, see we still have resistance on that 77.
So today's going to be
Also on the Dow daily high low resistance is the 61.8 of the weekly and the 77 of the daily. Also double top levels at this 100. We just need to look out for that. Dow 5-minute trend is up. US Tech 5-minute trend is still down. 821 hasn't confirmed a crossover. Still have my buy stop at the high just above the 77, close to the 89, and there's 5 points. The 77 is so strong resistance at the moment. Currently at the 11 of the daily high low on US Tech, that is the level of resistance. Next trigger short US Tech, 33 stochastic down through the 50. Just watching for that short. Support 38.2 of 1-minute grid and 50 moving average and 155 moving average. We have a lot of support at the moment. Watch as we do trigger this buy above this level. There we go, trigger the buy. Pushing for the 89.
Cool.
All right, guys, let's take a stop on that. We broke the previous candle low. No follow through above that high whatsoever to reach the 89. 30 down to 50 on US Tech. Just missed that one. I kind of a little bit too crazy over there, but more focusing on what's happening on the Dow.
Yeah, that was a bit ugly. Coming up for Hopper's candle. Next trigger on the Dow, stochastic down through 50 for a trigger short. The trend is still up 5 minute, 1 minute. We have now got a 2 candle retracement from the highs on the Dow. We can put a buy stop at the highs. What's the possibility of a separation for a long as well? 50 stochastics above the 50 level. Green stochastic around the 11. If we turn there, that's a nice nice turn. Otherwise, watch for stochastic down through 50. Bring up for that separation trigger. That's from where we are to the highs is only about 20 points. Just be careful of the possible double top. We still got the 61.8 to the opening range there as resistance. So we broke it and just pulled quite violently off that level, straight back to the 50 level. US Tech, stochastic up to 50, no trigger. Signalized not in the right place. Separation has triggered. Yeah, that's our half-past candle. Still in consolidation, opening range, just laying around the 61.8 to the 9 hour. Still above the 61.8 to the daily high low. That's on the Dow. And separation is trying again. Watch for the possibility of a little double top at the highs. I've got a buy stop in. Just be careful, that's 89 of the 1 minute grid as well. So we've got to break that 89 to get to take profit. US Tech, there's no setup still. If you hit that separation long, you would hit the 5 points. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. No extension for just yet on the down. Also the possibility of a double top there. Sell stop is above the 61.8 of opening range. Or buy stop rather. If that buy stop picks up, we need to be careful of the 77 of the daily high lows resistance, as well as the 77 of the 5-minute grid. Just take the trend is down on 5-minute and 1-minute. 5-minute, once again, it's very difficult. I mean, green is only slightly below red. We are below the 50-moving average. So for me, to put a sell stop, it'll be at the 0 of the 1-minute grid only. About 30 points away from where we are. Next trigger for short on the down will still be stochastic down through 50. Nice little separation there.
Yeah, but this consolidation is horrible.
No, the total range for the day is not even 300 points on the down.
Next trigger short 33 down to 50 on the down. 61.8 of the weekly still holding.
Yeah. Watch for that US tick. Break the 0. The 1-minute grid. Trend is down. 5-minute, 1-minute.
Or is it down? US 5-minute trend that is down, so you can put a sell stop at the low. $33 down to 50 on the Dow. On short. Then we go for the 5. No worries, just wick through the TP
and pull back.
This candle pushes above 61.8 1-minute grid. I'll take the stop. I'm not going to play around with this market anymore. No way not to trade. These conditions are terrible.
Yeah, no, this is not easy.
Just wait and see what happens with this trade. Yeah, no, stopping on that one. That was a fat stop. Guys, I think I'm going to call it there for the afternoon. This is bad. We can't really sit here and watch this market and try and find the trades, and I'm trying to justify why this trigger is happening, why this one is right now. This range is terrible. Let's just call it what it is.
Yeah.
We'll be back this evening with some more trading. Hopefully the range is a little bit better. Hopefully it picks up after 8, 9 o'clock again. But it's been pretty much just below a break-even session for myself. So please trade with care if you're going to continue trading. I will be back tonight. Really, thank you for the support.
Oh man, yeah, this is very tough, Monet. I think you're right. No, we're not to trade. Let's give it some time. Hopefully tonight will be a little bit better.
Cool. Cheers, guys.
Awesome. Cheers, guys.